Ladies and gentlemen, if you bet against my dad, that is an automatic W. Okay? Doesn't even last the entire NFL season, huh, Vinny?
Nope, he
What?
didn't.
What,
Didn't
Vinny?
last.
You
He
should
didn't
speak
last.
a little bit louder, bro.
And you speak like
There you go, right there. There
right
you go.
there.
That's good.
Okay.
Vinny, explain why.
Well, before the season started, actually before the preseason even started, my dad and Junior had a side bet throughout this year's NFL season, saying which player would do better, Russell Wilson or Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, guys. Who would you choose? Marcus Mariota or Russell Wilson to have a great season? Welcome to the Sports Rap Podcast Show. I'm Gilbert Gonzalez with Vinny and my dad right here. And right now I'm eating this delicious pizza because that's what we betted on. This delicious pizza.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Dad, how does it feel to not make it all the way to the freaking end of the season for your boy to get benched?
You know what? I picked the wrong guy. I thought it was gonna be, because the thing about the whole bet was that, Junior already knows how I feel about guys who get contracts. I always feel like they get their contracts and somehow, some way, they find a way to blow it every year. It never fails with me. Thinking that, But this year I just picked the wrong guy because, in my opinion, it's Jared Goff, who I think should have been part of that bet. Maybe I would have had a better chance, but nope. Junior, you won fair and square, bro.
Thank you.
What can I say? You beat the old man.
Thank you.
Bottom line, that's all I can say.
Thank you. And then Vinny got in this one too because we were just arguing about you were there listening to the conversation, and then right away, you were right there.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think Mariota was gonna make it through the whole year because he was gonna get hurt, let alone benched.
Yeah, I thought it was like that too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at hindsight, many players that get big contracts, they usually struggle their first year.
They do. We've seen it with not even just like the NFL. We've also seen it with baseball too,
yeah,
like Chris Sale, Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper. Basketball, we also see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it doesn't look so good now.
You know what though? Just a little bit of defending. I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one out there who really thought that Mariota was gonna. I'm enjoying that bite there, Junior. Mariota was gonna actually. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that felt because of the pressure that was being put on Mariota this year, being that it's his contract year. It's going to be a contract year for him. Even Corey Davis, they were saying maybe that dynamic duo was ready to be the dynamo that they all thought it would be. But you know what? I mean, it ended the way it ended, and I mean, I have no regrets. I have no regrets for making that bet with you. I'm glad you're enjoying your pizza. And God, Russell Wilson is playing really well.
That's good. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about here with Mahomes getting injured. The Yankees Astros recap just for Game 4, right? Game 5?
Game 5. Game 6 is going to be
tomorrow.
No, it's going to be
tomorrow.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday?
It's going back to Houston.
Okay. And then and the power rankings for you, Pop. And then we have mid-season awards that we'll get to a little bit later. We'll explain that later in the show. But okay, first we start off with the Yankees and Astros. Start off with a little bit of baseball here. The Yankees beat the Astros 4-1, and they beat them in one inning, right?
Yeah, in the first inning. A pair of home runs from LeMahieu and Hicks. That's all that it took. Verlander was on the mound, and they hit him hard. It was his first start in the ALCS, and it just went bad for him in the first inning. But then he actually got it. The game actually got better as far as pitching wise, but it was a snoozer from the first inning. After the first inning, it just Paxton did really well. He pitched solidly. He had 9 Ks. So did Verlander. He had just that one inning that cost him the game. And Houston was leading actually. After they were hitting in the top of the first inning. They had a 1-0 lead. And then that's Yankees. It was all Yankees after that. But just in that one inning, though. So
That was about it, huh?
mhm.
I mean, looking at this game, Astros, they're a very interesting team to talk about. They usually have, for the past few years, they've actually done something that I've actually haven't seen. A team literally, like, looking at pitchers' tendencies, getting if they're tipping pitches. We saw that Darvish in the World Series, he would move his wrist a lot when he would pitch to his slider. We saw that actually recently in the ALDS with Tyler Glasnow, the way he would put his glove up if he's pitching a fastball, or in his glove down if he was pitching a curveball. And they caught on to that. And I thought that Paxton coming into the playoffs was probably one of their weakest pitchers, and he ends up shutting down a very uncharacteristically cold Astros offense, which is going to be interesting to see what happens in the next game. But I don't know what happened to Verlander in this game.
They were actually saying in the middle of the game that Houston was getting accused of tipping pitches, meaning like stealing signs, stealing signals
Right.
to let the players know. But they were doing it differently. They were actually whistling from the dugout so that their guys could hear them and they could tip them on what pitch was coming. But MLB investigated, and they showed that
There was no evidence.
there was no evidence against the Houston Astros doing that. But just having that distraction, maybe that's what caused. That's what I'm thinking. It was probably in Verlander's head, because this is like not
Typical
Verlander. Yeah. So I mean, it's just congratulations to the Yankees. They played a good first inning.
Another point that I want to bring up, which is not really talked about, is what was interesting with Tanaka the last time Tanaka started when he faced Houston. Him and Gary Sanchez, if you look at the pitching sequence, how many signs that Sanchez had to throw up at Tanaka to confuse the Astros, it's like amazing. It's like looking at someone do sign language when there's like a press conference, like in a emergency, like scenario. We have like
Mhm.
someone like right on the side doing yeah. But I mean, I have the video. We can't show it or anything,
Mhm.
but it was just an interesting thing that I saw, and it was just amazing how like him and Sanchez, they were like switching signs, and then Sanchez would signal to Tanaka, okay, we got to switch signs. Like we got to switch we have to switch the sequence, change the
Right.
sequence. Like, oh my God, how it's like a chess match, baseball. And this is probably why this is actually one of my like favorite sports to watch, because you just watch that, like how a pitcher and a catcher communicate without even saying anything. They just throw like, all right, we're gonna change it, but they would just throw like a number or like a signal or something to change up a sequence. I don't know. It's just an amazing thing to see between a catcher and a pitcher.
Actually, Junior, you are right. They play tomorrow.
They play tomorrow, right? And Sunday too. If Game 7.
Yeah, they're playing 4 games in a row because of that rain out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rain delay.
Yeah. Well, at least we get to see another game, and hopefully, it'll end on Sunday before the World Series. When is the World Series?
That starts next week.
Tuesday, Monday. Tuesday, huh? I mean, you have to fly out.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting to watch this next game. I'm not sure who's the starter for the Yankees. I believe it's Severino. It would make sense if it was Luis Severino.
That's my hard on.
And
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Yankee wise, that's Pop's favorite player, Severino. But he's also facing one of the stronger pitchers in the postseason, Garrett Cole. Ever since he's been into Houston, he's actually had a postseason ERA of 1.75, and he's been their ace in the postseason, and he's probably going to win the Cy Young this year, more than likely. But it's going to be a pitcher's duel. I'm hoping it's a pitcher's duel tomorrow. It's going to be very fun to watch the Game 6 going back to Houston. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I can't wait for tomorrow.
All right. So moving on to some football here. Yesterday, Denver was playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City was up after the first quarter and into the second quarter in the red zone. Mahomes actually got a quarterback sneak in on a 3rd and 1, and the next thing you know, his kneecap got dislocated.
That was a terrible play call. I mean, 3rd and 1, you have more than capable running backs: LaShawn McCoy, Damian Williams, Darrell Williams. I mean, why would Andy Reid call that play? I don't know. Mahomes is already handicapping that ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you call a quarterback sneak on a? I don't get it. I don't understand. Sabotage, John Madden curse. I don't know what it is, but that amazed me when I saw that, and when I saw him go down, and he went down in pain, dude, and he just took off his helmet in frustration. Yeah. I knew he was done.
Yeah, and you know that it was if you guys haven't seen the video, like it's very, very quickly how you could see like the trainer extending.
Yeah, you could see like the knee pop.
Yeah,
the knee pop
extending
back.
his leg.
Yeah,
and the trainer just got his cap. I mean his kneecap
like realigned
in place, realigned. It's a quick second, but you could see the knee. It was his kneecap was on the right side, and while he was extending his knee, like
that's brutal.
Oh,
that's brutal. I mean, it's on the injury report. It says that he's out for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, they got an MRI, came back negative. No ligament damage, no nothing like about that. But they're keeping.
That's some extreme chiropractic right there.
Yeah, they're keeping him off of the field for at least 3 weeks. But I mean, if you're keeping him off of the field for the next 3 weeks, what are we in? Entering this week is week 7, right?
Yeah, week 7.
So week 10.
Yeah, week 7.
And let's just say that you guys keep winning. Like, are you guys going to be having to, get him off for like at least 2 more games coming out of a bye? You think that Kansas City will do that, or?
I mean, they have Matt Moore as a backup, and I don't think Matt Moore is that great of a quarterback.
Oh, I just saw it, bro.
Oh, you just saw it?
You could see it's
quick.
quick.
Right?
It's very quick.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
He just goes,
extending
it on him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Let me see.
Look it.
Wow.
Hold on.
My dad's just showing Vinny the video if you guys haven't seen it.
That's
it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
It was just all over Twitter, and it was. I think it's probably on YouTube.
Okay, right here. Okay, right here. There he is.
Okay.
As soon as the referee moves.
Oh wow.
Oh man, that was
that's some extreme chiropractic right there.
But he was able. Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was able to walk off.
It was walk.
Yeah, he was able to walk off. Yeah. So you got Matt Moore. You got Matt Moore coming in, but it's just a little pop. I think all they have to do to stay stable at the position where they're at, just win like 1 or 2 games, really, because the AFC West isn't that competitive. I mean, the second best team behind you is what?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah, they got Green Bay next.
I mean, they got Green Bay next. Okay, you can take that as a law. I mean,
no, I mean the Raiders. The Raiders have Green Bay this week. Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, next week, the Packers are at Kansas City.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have their next 3 games is going to be Green Bay, Minnesota, and Tennessee.
Tough defenses,
but I mean, all they have to do to stay in the AFC if they want to get that top seed, which I don't think is going to happen, if to get that home field advantage, I think they just have to win 1 or 2 games. And
the home field
to get the bye week on. Isn't it the first 2 seeds to get the bye week?
Yeah, but I mean they're Houston.
Second. I mean they're Houston,
but
they're still a game up on Houston.
Yeah, so Houston's second, but even though they got the same. Well, I mean they got the win today. I mean yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yesterday, but let's just say if excluding from yesterday, they were 4-2, but Houston would have the second seed since they won the head-to-head against Kansas City.
Yeah,
that's how it was.
I mean, I don't know, because it's not like Mahomes is going to be gone till like week 16.
I know, but what I'm saying is that, look, you got the Packers, then the Vikings, and then the Titans, and then you got the Chargers, and then you get your bye week, and then you get the Raiders.
He's probably going to come back.
No, best case scenario, you see, if it's 3 games, you're talking about the Chiefs probably being 6-4. I see 2 losses, Packers and Vikings.
Yeah.
They could beat the Titans. And if he does come back, if there's more time, I mean, you're talking about the Chargers and the Raiders, which are, I think they can win those 2, which would get them at 500. But then they got the Patriots again.
Yeah,
I mean, well, they got the
but right there
Patriots.
with the Chargers after the
Chargers game,
game, they get the bye.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. If he comes back, if he doesn't come back, worst case scenario, if he doesn't come back, then you have the Chargers and the Raiders, which I told you they'll probably put him at 500 when he's gone. But then you got the Patriots, and that's going to be another loss. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking, especially with Matt Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, that Matt Moore had no first team snaps all season.
I know
All
he was
season,
a scout like 7
no
months
first
ago.
team
It
snaps.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Like about a couple months ago, he was a
he's
scout.
He's just an extra. He's just an extra name on the slot. I feel like for him, for the roster slot, he's just an extra name. I feel like Andy Reid must have had miscounted his team and was like, "Oh wow, I got an extra slot. Maybe I should spend it on my backup quarterback."
I like your Andy Reid voice.
Yeah, old, pretty on point.
I really don't think he sounds like that, though.
I think he does.
Oh my goodness.
When
Okay.
he
so-
called Mozart the greatest painter ever.
Okay, so you know that we have like, the Sunday ticket and everything like that, but
Yeah.
Mahomes is the only NFL player that I'm just excited to see every Sunday. So is it bad for the NFL for him to go down knowing that like, I mean I don't see another player besides him. I mean, we have the New England pop, but like, I mean, as a regular, football fan, you want to see like these great players play.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that is it a bad thing for him to go out?
For the NFL.
For the NFL.
I mean, the Chiefs. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you take away not what makes that team so good, but what makes that team so entertaining to watch is watching Patrick Mahomes. I guarantee you for a fact, if there was any other quarterback with that same exact team, this team would be practically like not as entertaining. If you put like
Alex Smith, I'll give you that for example.
Alex Smith with the same
Yeah.
receivers, Kelsey, Hill.
Yeah.
That's not fun. When you watch Chiefs, you watch Mahomes. That's it. You don't care about Watkins. You don't care about Hill. You don't care about like the receivers. Because you got guys like DeMarcus Robinson and
Mecole Hardman.
You watch the Chiefs to watch Mahomes, man.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Vincent. I think the excitement of the Chiefs this season and last season is that he gets everybody involved. Like you see him throw the ball to Hardman and to Robinson. You're like, where do these guys come from? Even Pringles.
Yeah.
How about Pringles too? It's like, where did these guys come from? But it is a shame. But you know what? I still think there's a lot of excitement in the NFL. There's a lot of it's just been very this season especially. It's been very unpredictable. And that's what makes the NFL fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first year with the Sunday ticket. You've obviously had it before, Junior. And I'm enjoying it. And I was thinking in the beginning, remember I was telling you I was a little skeptical about it. I'm like, really? Do I really want it? But no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it all. Now I get to see every single game. But yeah, I think the unpredictability of the NFL this season makes it more exciting for me. So I think the loss of Mahomes, it's going to hurt a little bit, but I don't think as much as everybody would assume it would. But you're still talking about the NFL MVP. So, of course, it's going to hurt him.
Yeah. Okay. Does it make, like, New England's AFC, road back to the Super Bowl a little bit easy? Because luck.
Yeah.
Luck is gone.
There's no other team other than the Chiefs that can compete with the Patriots. I'm just gonna put it out there. Look at the third best team, who in my opinion in the AFC is the Baltimore Ravens, they lost to the Chiefs.
Think Houston? No.
Even though they beat the Chiefs, no.
I mean, the Deshaun Watson's playing better.
I know he's playing better
than he was in the first couple games.
He's getting more protection.
He's getting
more protection. The running games, I need to see more though. But yeah, like the running game's been okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, so like, okay, so in the AFC they don't have Luck. Okay, Luck retired.
Yep, Luck is gone.
Roethlisberger's gone
Yep.
because of an injury. Then you got Mahomes gone
Yep.
because of another injury. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll come back. Let's just, assuming he's gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's gonna be playing the same.
There's no. I mean, you look at the Patriots. I mean, the defense is like, it's like one of the best defenses I've ever seen.
I know, but I need to see more.
I
need to see more because
I don't.
they go against
If I was a fan-
Jets, Miami. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the way how
No,
they're
yeah.
playing, but I need to see them play against like a real team.
I'm convinced. I mean, you run up the scores on teams that are bad. You're supposed to run up the scores on teams that are bad.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like the Washington Redskins game. I swear to God, you got in the first quarter.
9-something, huh?
No, yeah.
I'm sorry. It was like 9-something,
Yeah,
and
it
then
was
like,
9-something.
okay, let's just try hard now. I mean,
Yeah.
let's put them away.
Yeah. But Dad, the whole first quarter. Oh my God, we're playing so bad. I hope Washington scores on us.
No,
McCoy
that's-
throws like a
yeah.
pick six right when he says that.
Oh my-
I'm like, why are you?
That's how he
Why?
is.
Like,
Yeah,
why
I
are
know.
you complaining?
And then when we
Dude.
talk about it, he goes, "What? What? Oh,
You
Make
guys
up your
are
mind.
6-0. I mean, you guys are 6. You guys are 6. You guys are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah,
guys
the
are the best
defense
team in
has
the
more
NFL.
fantasy points than Travis Kelsey.
Yes.
Okay. Like all these
it's
name
just,
players.
It's just amazing to me how this team is dominate. I mean, okay, yeah, their schedule's easy. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but
that doesn't.
yeah,
that
I
doesn't
know.
matter. You're running up the score.
I know.
You don't put up like 45, and then the next week you still put up another 40 against another team. You don't score. You don't do that. That's not. Unless you got like Madden,
High school
you're
football
Playing you're playing
or
Madden
college football.
with rookie.
That's how it is in college football. Like
It's like if
57 to 3.
Bama playing Appalachian State every single week. That's like New England against the whole NFL so far this season. It's like if Bama faced like Cal State LA or something.
Or Chaffey College.
Or
Yeah.
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 That's how it is, and that's how it's gonna be probably the whole season. We're probably gonna see more domination from the Patriots. I mean, their schedule gets a little tougher, but I feel like they're still gonna be winning.
That's great because that'll show me like, all right, our defense is all right, cool. I've never seen a defense playing like this. I don't think me and Dad has never ever seen a defense so dominant before, like this.
Yeah.
How about 07?
No.
No.
No, I agree with you on that. This is the most dominant defense I've seen since I've been a Patriot fan. Even back in the day when we have Vrabel, Bruschi, McGinnis, Law, Malloy, this defense is just tearing it up.
Devin Singletary. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's a Buffalo Bill.
Little Bills.
Oh, sorry.
Singletary.
Wrong guy. Wow, I just pulled off an Andy.
Okay.
Just did an Andy right now.
All right, guys. So the NBA is just around the corner. On Tuesday, the season opener. It's the Battle of LA with LeBron James and the Lakers against the newly acquired Kawhi Leonard. Paul George might not play. He probably is going to be out for like 10 games because he has a shoulder injury. But since the NBA is just around the corner, why don't we just give a quick Eastern Conference, Western Conference seedings?
Okay.
All right. All right, Vinny. Do you have one? Your first 8. Who do you have the first 8? Let's just start with the Eastern Conference since it's weak.
Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy.
Well, yeah, I got Milwaukee
At 1.
At 1. Okay, I got Milwaukee at 1. I probably more than likely, if I look at this correctly, I think I'm gonna go Boston 2.
Okay.
Philadelphia maybe 3. Maybe.
Okay. And it's pretty weird how they have 2 bigs
Yeah.
in the lineup. You
Yeah.
have
Embiid
and Horford.
Yeah.
I don't know how they just needed more shooters, but in the preseason, Ben Simmons has been working. Even the whole summer too, Ben Simmons has been working on his threes, and they seem to be.
They celebrated him making it 3 as if they won a championship. That's how
Yeah,
basically they exploded. I swear,
he
I swear
improved
to you.
his 3-point shooting game.
He can finally shoot.
Yeah.
He can finally shoot. Besides, all he does is just lay up the ball.
I
That's all
know.
he
So
does.
it's
It's
great
either
that he
layups and
did
dunks.
this, that he
Yeah.
committed to do
He
this,
committed to doing
and
it.
it's
So,
paying off.
yeah.
It's great.
At 4, I have Indiana.
Okay.
I feel like that team without Oladipo really convinced me that they're a contender. Plus, Oladipo's coming back.
Yep.
So I think they're gonna be at 4. At 5, I actually have Miami at 5. The way they're playing this preseason, they look really good.
Just got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, they just got Jimmy
Jimmy Butler.
They basically still have the same team as last year.
Mhm.
A few moves, but I think Butler is probably. I mean, the Eastern Conference is weak.
I know. So no matter what,
the
like
Eastern Conference is it looks bad. I mean, this conference is really bad.
is it because of the names of the team? They do get like when you look at it.
No,
like, you don't pay attention to the roster. You
no.
just pay attention to the name. Like, damn, the Hornets. They're
No, because you look at the players that some of these teams have lost. They've lost some of their, like, Toronto. They lost Kawhi.
okay.
They lost Kawhi.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. No, they don't have Danny Green anymore.
They don't.
He's in Houston. They don't have. I'm thinking of another guy.
No, Danny Green. Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green.
He's a Laker.
He's a Laker.
Yeah.
He's a Laker. The only guy they have from that championship, Laurie,
Marcus Gasol.
Gasol, Ibaka,
What was his name? Siakam. Siakam.
I mean, and then you look at another team like Brooklyn, who have to wait on all their stars for another year. You know,
Yeah, because Durant's out.
Durant's out, and then Kawhi. I mean, I'm sorry, not Kawhi. Kyrie. You know, he's probably going to be.
I've already seen Kyrie not, if it's just by himself. I know that he has DeAndre Jordan and Joe Harris as an up-and-comer, but, I mean, I've seen him try to carry a team with the Cavs, didn't do anything with it. Now he's going to try to do it again with the Nets.
I mean, it didn't really work when he was in
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, Cleveland and Boston.
Well, Boston, he had a bunch of pieces, but he just
except
didn't want to.
Everyone was just underperforming.
Yeah.
He didn't like the environment over there. It was really weird. But
Okay, so who you got at 6?
So who did I got? Well, I probably got at 6. I think I'll have to move Orlando up. I think they've gotten better. I think Aaron Gordon's a much better player than what he was last year coming in. They still have the same players as they did, but I think I got Orlando going up to number 6. Number 7, I have Detroit, and number 8, I have Toronto. This Eastern Conference is bad.
Yeah,
This Eastern
it's hard to
Conference is
rank them.
It's hard to rank them because they're
So
all
bad.
bad. They're all
Yeah.
bad. I don't know where. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so for me, I got the Bucks, the Celtics, the Sixers. Then I got the Pacers. I get the Nets at 5. 6 is Magic, 7's Pistons, and the 8 I'm gonna go with. I'll go with the Heat at 8th.
Okay.
For Western Conference, I got the Nuggets at 1 because they still have the same team, and they were a couple games behind against Warriors.
Mm.
But the Warriors, they beat the Denver Nuggets about like 3-1. I think they faced each other 4 times.
Mm.
But I think Denver coming, having the same team, and now we got Michael Porter Jr. being healthy, and he's ready to go. Same team, so I think I'll have him at number 1. Number 2, I got the. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Okay.
Number 3, I got the Trailblazers because for some reason, don't count out the Trailblazers. Number 4, I got the Lakers. Number 5, I'm gonna get the Warriors at 5. Number 6, I'm gonna go with the Jazz. Number 7, I got the Spurs, and number 8, I'm gonna go with the Pelicans.
Well, let's see here. I think I'm gonna have to put at number 1. Man, I think I'm gonna have to put. It's actually gonna be. Well, they're my favorite. I actually picked them. I actually told my dad to actually bet on them to win.
Just do your picks first and then.
All right. I have the Trailblazers at number 1.
Trailblazers at 1.
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like from what they got from the offseason, they still have Lillard. They still have McCollum. They,
Acquired Whiteside.
they got Whiteside. And they still have Nurkic. And Nurkic.
Mm-hmm.
That team, I love that team right there. That's probably like my favorite team to actually just to be like, yeah, I think this team can make a strong run.
Mm-hmm.
I
Good
think
bench
this team-
too.
They have a great bench. They have a
Mhm.
great bench. At number 2, I actually have, if I'm not mistaken, I have Houston at number 2.
Oh damn! I didn't even put him in the thing too.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I have Houston at 2. At 3, I have Golden State.
Okay.
At 4, I have Denver. I feel like a lot of the good things about Denver was their depth, and I don't think that those same guys. I don't feel like they're gonna put up the same numbers as they did last year. I feel like they're still gonna be good. They're still gonna be one of the dangerous teams coming out of the Western Conference, but I don't think they're gonna be like as good as they were last
year.
season. Last season, because they gave everyone a chance on that Denver squad. I don't think they really had like a star. It was just a whole team. Just coming together. Where was that? 5?
Yeah, 5. You
At
said 4 was Denver, right?
Yeah, 4 is Denver.
All right, then you're at 5.
At 5, I actually have the Lakers. At 5, I feel like later in the or actually early in the season, I feel like they're kind of gonna struggle a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
I feel like it's gonna be
The Heat,
Yeah,
kind of like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I feel like later, probably after the deadline, they're probably going to pick it up and they're going to finish strong. After that, I have the Clippers. Paul George, I feel like him being out for around 10 games is going to definitely have a ripple effect for the rest of the league. I mean, rest of the season for the Clippers.
Mhm.
So I think they're going to end up probably a lower seed. At 7, I actually have at 7 and 8, I actually have Utah at 7, and I have San Antonio at 8.
Because San Antonio always makes
San
it.
Antonio always makes the playoffs.
No
No
matter
matter who they have, they can have a bunch of college players
Right.
and
and still make it.
and still make it because Greg Popovich is that good of a head coach that he can make anybody like really good. It just surprises me. I feel like a team that's probably gonna like have a great start, but then fall flat on their face is probably gonna be New Orleans. They have a lot of pieces, but I feel like with Zion being out,
Yeah.
and I think that the team, they don't have enough like
Experience.
I don't feel like they have enough experience. You give it 2 or 3 years, this team's gonna be good. But for right now, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs.
Okay, now you all know I'm boycotting basketball, but I gotta put in at least a little bit of my 2 cents. Philadelphia and Portland are gonna be in the NBA Finals this year. Dallas will make the playoffs this year with Doncic and Porzingis, and I believe that the Lakers will crumble. I think they just have too much talent, and they're not gonna know what to do with. They're not gonna know how to play together. That's just my opinion. So, yeah. So, again, Philadelphia and Portland. And I believe Portland will win the championship this season.
Okay. All right. Good for you, Pop. You came in and talked some like 10 seconds of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's all he had to give. That's
Yeah.
all he had to give.
All right. Okay. So now, I know it's kind of like out of like order, but we'll go back to the football power rankings, Pop.
Yes.
Back to your
The fatherly love.
No.
Oh, back to your regular
Back to your regularly scheduled
program.
Yeah.
Yes, the power rankings.
power rankings. All
Okay,
right. So
just to give you guys a heads up, a couple of weeks ago I did power rankings. Last week we weren't able to do the show because somebody forgot their mic box.
yeah. Me.
So I went on ahead and did the power rankings, and I showed them to Junior. Bears, just to give you guys a heads up, Bears, Rams, Eagles, and Cowboys are not in my top 10 for this week. So those are the 4 teams that I've eliminated from the top 10. Here we go. Top 10. Number 10.
And then me and Vinny you will decide.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Whoever wants to take it. Number 10, I have the Ravens at 4-2. The Baltimore Ravens, I have them at number 10, 4-2. Lamar Jackson still playing, very consistent. Ingram, very consistent as well. I love the way they're playing. I like Hollywood Brown. That offense is coming around. Their defense is a little bit sputtering a little bit, but I still think they're the complete package, and they can outscore anybody. I think they can outscore anybody on any given Sunday.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, a little bit of a surprise, but they were on bye last week, so I didn't really get to see them play last week, but I got the Indianapolis Colts. You guys want to take on that? Number 9, I have them better than the Ravens this week.
I agree with you. I mean, they win against the best team. Well, not the best team, but Mahomes, like Kansas City, a high-powered offense, and beat them at.
One of the main reasons I put them up.
Yeah, at Kansas City. So, yeah, I can see them ahead of the Ravens.
Okay, Vinny, I'm gonna let you take this one. Number 8, I got the Minnesota Vikings making an appearance on my power rankings at 8. Kirk Cousins has had 2 solid weeks. Vinny, what do you think?
I feel like that whole NFC North is basically solid. Actually, all of the NFC North, they actually all have winning records. If you actually take a look, Green Bay 5-1, Minnesota 4-2, Chicago 3-2, Detroit 2-2, and a tie. They all have winning records, and the second best team out of that NFC North is Minnesota. I fully agree with that pick. Kirk Cousins, these last 2 games, has been phenomenal, giving the ball to his playmakers.
Ever since Adam Thielen said, we can't win with the run.
Yeah.
Time to pass.
It's time to pass.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean, I don't think that means that Dalvin Cook has been seeing less of the ball. I feel like he's going to be way more productive. I think this team's probably going to make a huge push come around November time.
Do you see Kirk Cousins still airing it out?
Yeah.
I feel like it was working the last 2 games. Against
they're more balanced now.
They're more balanced. They're way more balanced than they were. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Number 7, I got the Buffalo Bills at 4-1. They were on a bye as well. They had their bye, so I have them at 4-1. They're solid at 7, and they were there last couple weeks ago, so I just left them there at number 7.
Yeah, they're doing. Surprisingly, they're doing very, very well. And you and I picked the Bills as an up-and-comers.
Especially their defense. I remember we specifically talked about their defense, and their defense is ranked number 4 right now.
Overall?
In the NFL, overall.
Yeah, they've been putting up some work. And the coaching staff, too, putting these guys, getting these wide receivers, long bomb, Smokey Brown. And then, in the slot, you have Cole Beasley, who's clutch, too.
And thank God they have a quarterback who likes to throw it deep.
Yep.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
That's cool. All right. At number 6, this one hurt me the most. This, I cannot bear. I don't want to even talk about this team because, in my opinion, they don't belong in my number 6, but I have to because they are 5-1. It's the Green Bay Packers. I have to put them there only because of their record. Vincent, do you want to take this one, or Junior? Do you guys? I have them at number 6. The Green Bay Packers at number 6.
All right, go ahead, Vinny.
Okay, so they got that terrible calling game on that Monday night game, the hands to the face. But
yeah, that's that.
But
right here.
but yeah, I know it's the chest pad. But then again, I mean, it looked like the whole fourth quarter the Lions were trying to blow this game. Matthew Stafford, he only had 57 yards passing on the ball. I mean, Detroit this year, they have a tough time closing games. But, I mean, that was just a blatant, obvious call that should have never been called. I mean, it was like his shoulder pad.
It was called twice, Vincent.
It was called twice, and they both didn't look it. They both didn't look like at all. But, I mean, this team, that game should have not been close the way it was. They should have at least tried to score more points. But I mean, it was just a bad thing that happened to the Lions.
I mean, that is so messed up because that win would have had the Lions in number 1 on the NFC Central, and that probably would have had the Lions in my top 10, which
And now they're not even in your top 10, and they're last in the division because of the loss.
Yeah.
So
All right, Paul. Who do you got at number
That's
5
terrible.
ahead of Green Bay?
actually I have them at number 5. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them drop down to number 5. I know they just beat Denver, but I think I can put a team together for Turkey Bowl and we can all beat Denver. I actually do really think that I could put a team together of our fellow friends and we could beat Denver. The Chiefs looked really good, but the past 2 weeks before that, they've looked bad. And it's all because we've already discussed it, Mahomes' ankle. You know,
Yeah.
Mahomes runs that offense, and now he's out.
Yeah. Also, they've already figured him out, too. So, I mean, yeah, the ankle's a bit of a problem, but, and even his decision making, like we saw remember how, like you said, Tyreek Hill's catch against the
yeah.
Texans.
Yeah.
How we just went through the corner.
It was a
corner's
little bit.
hands.
I mean, it was nice.
That was
It was a
cool.
good. It was
Yeah,
a
it was
great
cool.
catch,
Yeah.
great throw, but it was a little bit of luck involved.
Yeah, like a
you know.
like a decision that's
Mhm.
like double coverage. I mean,
but that's like a little bit what makes a great play look like a great
yeah,
play.
that's
Yeah.
like makes it look awesome. Like, man, that looks a great but his
Right.
that decision making was
Right. Well, I got them at number 5. They are 5-2.
okay.
Number 4, I got the 49ers. They're undefeated. They're for real, in my opinion. They beat the Rams. Everybody's saying they haven't beaten anybody. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing that cliche with everybody. I hear it with my Patriots. I hear it with these guys are all professional football players. They're all professional teams. It doesn't matter. Any given Sunday could go any way. The other team could beat us. Miami did the miracle in Miami and they beat us.
Well,
You
that's
know,
kinda my
nobody
fault.
expected that. Yeah, last year. So the 49ers have beaten 5 good teams, 5 professional teams. One of them happened to be last week that was really good. They were the NFC champion, and they're 5-0.
Yeah, I mean they're for real. I mean we've seen.
I mean, I feel like definitely that this team is the same squad as last year. The only difference is that they got Jimmy Garoppolo back, you know,
and signed Tevin Coleman.
and
And-
Tevin Coleman, who's basically in my eyes probably a poor man's James White in fantasy. He's basically exactly what James White is, except a little less.
And he starts. Let's put it like that. He's
Yeah.
starting, right? He's a starter.
Yeah, but I mean, gosh darn, this run offense that they have, Kyle Shanahan, just Breda, Coleman, and Mostart. You know, they still have the same receivers. You know, Pettis, Goodwin. They still have Kittle. This team is super solid, and I feel like Shanahan's been a big part of that as a head coach.
I like that you brought that up, Vincent. I am so glad to see Pettit getting involved last game. I
Good.
liked his involvement. I think he's pretty solid as a wide receiver. Number 3, Junior, I have the Seahawks at 5-1. What can I say, dude? You know, what can I say? This guy is playing out of his mind.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the front cover of next year's game.
Yeah, I agree with you. He deserves it, bro. He's just solid on everywhere on the ball. Everywhere. Decision making, everything. Everything. He's just playing out of his mind. Number 2, I have the New Orleans Saints. The top 3 are pretty solid for me. The Seahawks, the Saints at 5-1. They're winning without Drew Brees. Vinny?
I mean, it's just amazing to me that Teddy Bridgewater and all he had to overcome. It was in training camp when he tore his ACL. He tore his whole knee, and his whole the whole tendon just came off. He needed surgery. He was 2 years out. He was cut by the team that originally drafted him. He went to New Orleans as a backup. He stayed as a backup. Breeze went down. I don't think anybody expected what Teddy Bridgewater, what he has done for the Saints.
I didn't.
I don't think anybody did.
No.
I don't think anybody did. But this is just wow. I can't believe this is happening with Teddy Bridgewater.
I'm
Okay.
glad it's happening for him. Number 1, our
New
Patriots.
England.
Our Patriots. I mean, what can I say? 6-0.
Defense is
For
putting up
years,
more-
for years, I've been so terrified of the Giants up until last Thursday. I was terrified. They've been a needle in our asses. They've been a needle in our, for playoffs, Super Bowls, even the regular season, even the freaking preseason. I'm so scared of them, and now I do not fear them at all after Thursday's win. I actually really in the back of my mind, I had a slight fear that we were going to lose that game.
Hey, me too.
Yeah,
Daniel
because
Jones
it's the Giants. It's the Giants.
Yeah.
We lose to the Giants, you know. But nah, I'm glad we showed them who's boss. We showed them who's number one, and that's all that mattered to me, bro. So those are your power rankings for this week.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job without, with Saquon. I wish Saquon and Ingram were there. Shepard, I think Shepard. No,
Shepard
Shepard.
wasn't there.
Okay, yeah, the Shepard
Shepard
too.
wasn't
I
there.
mean,
It was
his
tape.
full.
It was his tape.
Yeah, like his
Yeah,
full,
you should've started him.
ammunition. But he did very, very well with
Well,
a
I
bunch of
should've-
scrubs and Golden Tate.
I think I should have started him on my fantasy, but I didn't.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna do something that can get you guys involved. So next week is week 8, and my dad and Vinny and we all discussed that we should do a week 8 mid-season awards, kind of like the NFL. NFL honors at the very end. So the awards are pretty basic. You got your Rookie of the Year award, MVP award, Offensive Player of the Year award, Defensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Breakout Player of the Year, which is a new one for all of us. Adding Best Team, Worst Team, and Head Coach of the Year. So we already decided our nominees, and out of the nominees, we decided that me and Vinny and I are gonna put them up on social media, and with the nominees that we all pick, we'll give it the description about what their stats are, what their record is, and all of that stuff. And all you guys have to do is just comment on the guy that you would want to pick of that, the winner of that award. And on week 8, next Friday, we'll give them the announcement. And so, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to start off with the Rookie of the Year award. Rookie of the Year nominees. And, Dad, do you want to start off with your nominee?
Yeah, my nominee for Rookie of the Year is the Arizona Cardinal quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's playing great. He's playing like a professional. He's got an 87.6 quarterback rating out of 58. So he still has a little bit of ways to bring that up. He's got 150. He's completing 153 out of 238 passes, 64.3%, which is very good. He's over 60%. Over 1,600 yards, 7 TDs, 4 picks. But what I like about Murray is he's a runner. He's got 238 yards projected to at least finish off with about 700 yards. That's close to 1,000 yards rushing. This kid, I like him. We've said it. We've all agreed that we thought at one point that Arizona was the best winless team in the NFL. And then I think it has to do with Kyler Murray involving his offense and the way he's been playing.
Okay. Vinny, you want to go? Or?
I think my pick for the offensive Rookie of the Year is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, I feel like he's kind of been... Well, no, I mean, I don't think anybody really talks about the Raiders unless, AB's on the team,
Right.
But he's been by far one of their best offensive players. He's got 88 rushes, 430 yards, 4.9 yards per rush, per attempt, and 4 touchdowns. So he's only played 5 games because they had a bye week. He's scored in almost every single game he's played on, He had a bit of a dud against Minnesota, but if you look at all of his other games, he's had more than 75 yards in the other 4 games, which, including a spectacular game he actually had against Kansas City, where he had 99 yards for 12 rushing attempts, which brought up his average to around 8.25 in a single game. So, Josh Jacobs, he's been probably the best piece to that offense, and that's why they actually don't have a losing record. They're 3-2, and I feel like a big part of it is because of Josh Jacobs.
My Rookie of the Year nominee is Terry McLaurin. Third round draft pick by the Redskins, and this dude has been consistent as hell since he entered as a rookie year. First game he already went off for 5 receptions, 125 yards and a touchdown. And nobody expected anyone from the Redskins wide receivers to do something like this. Like we all thought it was Paul Richardson.
Yeah,
Who else?
Jordan Reed.
And I can't even name the other wide receivers, but Terry McLaurin was the one that just stood out to everybody, including like you have him in fantasy, Vinny, and I send him to my dad, but.
Yep.
But yeah, like he already has 5 total touchdowns. He already has 408 yards, 23 receptions total. And he wasn't able, he was a so-and-so against New England because I guess he had an injury.
It's against New England.
Yeah, but against, he had an injury,
yeah,
right?
Well, yeah, he had an
battling
injury.
injury.
It was, I believe, his rib.
Yeah.
It was a rib injury.
And then, Dolphins are Dolphins. Consistent 4 receptions for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he is my Rookie of the Year nominee. Another nominee is let's go with Comeback Player of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year. I'll start. My Comeback Player of the Year is Cooper Kupp. I mean, this dude had an ACL tear last year, and I didn't expect Cooper Kupp to be this good. Obviously, Vinny said he did, but me and my dad were just like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, right. But man, Jared Goff's guy is Cooper Kupp, and this dude is just beasting. The way how he's moving on the field, the way how he breaks his routes, and yeah, just everything. So Cooper Kupp is my Comeback Player of the Year.
To be fair, I did tell you guys his numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you did, but still.
It was
Still, but like, in fantasy or in real, like in real life, like game time, it'd still be Woods, Cooks, and Kupp. But yeah, but Cooper Kupp.
You know what?
Comeback
I'm
Player of
actually
the Year.
going to give the mic to Dad because I'm actually going to get a slice of delicious pizza because, after all.
Yeah, after all, you gotta throw it in my face. All right, my comeback player is actually I have this specific player in more categories, but it's got to be Dalvin Cook. I mean, he tore his ACL as well, right? In the beginning of the season, he was gone. He's a league leader in rushing. He's leading the league with 583 yards. He's got 6 TDs. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. He's doing it in the air as well. He's catching more balls in the backfield, and I think he takes away a lot of pressure from Kirk Cousins. And I just feel like he really is helping out this squad. They're 4-2, and recently, yeah, it is true that Cousins has been airing it out more, but I feel that the play action has a lot to do with it as well. And Dalvin Cook is a big contributor to that. So I definitely give it to Dalvin Cook.
Go ahead, Vin.
Well, we did put the pizza away in the fridge. I totally forgot about that. So I basically stood up for nothing. but my comeback player of the year is Teddy Bridgewater.
Now, I know that's a lot of surprise for you guys, but he actually that surprised me and my dad. But yeah, I didn't even know about what he's gonna. The reason, yeah.
I thought that was a good pick.
Teddy Bridgewater. I can go on about talking about this guy. I mean, the team that the last time he was in Minnesota, at least a full season starter, this team had come off a heartbreaking loss. They actually had an outdoor stadium at the time when they were playing in the University of Minnesota's stadium. But the last time that he was a starter, Blair Walsh had just missed a 22-yard field goal that just completely chopped left. So coming into that season, people saw Minnesota as a huge playoff contender. Many people saw that Bridgewater is going to improve way more. And then third day into training camp, we hear that Teddy Bridgewater was rushed to the hospital with a more than likely torn ACL. Turns out it was way more than that, and the doctor that actually had done the surgery to replace the tendon actually said Bridgewater could have lost his leg in that whole entire. He could have not walked again.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes back, 2 years gone. He plays a series. I think it was against if I can remember, I think it was against the Lions. He actually came back. He played one drive. It was a throwaway game late in the year. I think it was like a 3-and-out. It was nice that he played. I was so happy to see him out in the field. I knew that his job was probably gone. He was probably going to get cut, which absolutely sucks. Like what he had to do to get back on the field. He gets cut. He gets picked up by the Saints as a backup. He stays as their backup another year. And now the season that he's having is just blowing me away because I didn't think this is going to happen. I didn't think we'd ever see this at all.
I want to cut Vincent off because I just think we should just give it to Teddy Bridgewater, dude. His story's making me cry.
Dude, Bridgewater, man. I don't know. I mean, he was never, by all means, he was not like an elite quarterback. And right now, he's playing like an elite quarterback. Yeah. He is 7 touchdowns, 2 picks. Look at that ratio. That is just sick, man. I don't even want Breeze to come back. I want him to stay the starter, dude. I'm being for real. I want him to stay the starter. I don't want Breeze to come back. Please.
Well, I want Breeze to come back so Kamara can be relevant.
If there's any team that needs a starting quarterback, and I know there's a lot, please pick up Teddy Bridgewater. Please pick up Teddy Bridgewater. He's having such a phenomenal year. What he had to go through to get there. It just blows my mind. Man, I love sports. Man. Jesus. I live for those stories, dude. I live for those stories.
All right. Next one, breakout player of the year. The nominees I got Austin Eckler. Now I know that Melvin Gordon came back, but the numbers that he was putting up were just unbelievable, man. He has 370 yards with 42 receptions. And he rushed for 64 times for 241 yards. And this guy was just having a monster, putting up some monster numbers, even though that the Chargers were losing and the offense is still shaky. But this dude was racking up some receptions and yards, and 3 total touchdowns. He has 3 total touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. I'm sorry, 3 rushing touchdowns. I think one reception touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns. But Austin Eckler has been really the machine going until they decided to put Melvin Gordon in. But yeah, so Austin Eckler is my breakout player of the year.
Coming back to me, my breakout player of the year is DJ Chark. The second year, sophomore in the NFL. He actually broke his totals actually 2 games into the season. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I didn't even know the Jacksonville depth chart for receiving. I thought it was just Connolly and Westbrook. That was it. And
Conley was out, right? Chris Conley.
Chris Conley. I thought it was Chris Conley as the number 1, Westbrook as a slot, and maybe 3, Marquise Lee or something.
Oh yeah, Marquise Lee.
Or not Marquise Lee. I'm sorry. Keelan Cole. I thought Keelan Cole was gonna be the number 3. I didn't even know who the heck this DJ Chark was, but oh my God, he's so good. He is so good. I mean, look at his numbers. I mean, you got 30 receptions, which is the most out of any Jacksonville player. 528 yards, 88 yards per game, which is the most by any Jacksonville Jaguar by 40 yards. By 40 yards. He's only throwing the ball. He's only been... Okay, so you have Chark at 30 receptions, and then Westbrook at 6 receptions. So it's not like Minshew's not just giving the ball to Chark.
Right, yeah.
He has the highest average of any Jacksonville receiver. He has the most touchdowns by a country mile. And he's been playing out of his mind, dude. It's just been that Jacksonville offense, they're getting it done. I mean, they're 2-4, but Minshew, just keep giving the ball to Chark. You're making me a very happy guy in fantasy. So, I mean, I traded one receiver away. I'm pretty sure I could start him now. So, I think Chark's going to be my breakthrough player of the year this year.
All right, what about you, Pop?
Well, I'm just very simple. I have one of my other players, the rookie of the year, my rookie of the year candidate. I have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's my breakout player of the year. One stat that I didn't get to mention is QBR this season is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, is better than Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, and Phillip Rivers. So, and that's just his QBR.
Yeah.
His QBR. So, I mean, that just goes to show you what kind of player he is. Again, I'm very impressed with the youngster, and I just look forward to seeing him more in the future and grow. And as he grows, I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty dangerous when he gets older. So that's my breakout player of the year.
Okay, for defensive player of the year, I got Shaquille Barrett. Todd Bowles literally came into Tampa Bay with no star in that defense, and he just makes Shaquille Barrett look great. He is great, and he's been making the defense better. He's making himself better. In total, he has 9 sacks, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. he's. I mean, no star player was in the Buccaneers defense, and all of a sudden you hear this guy named Shaquille Barrett coming out and just wrecking the lead. And I think he's tied with Myles Garrett with 9 sacks too. So Shaquille Barrett, my defensive player of the year nominee.
My defensive player of the year nominee is actually James Bradbury, another NFC South player, and he's part of the reason why Carolina's second in the league in interceptions. He's got 3. He's got 3 total interceptions, which is basically 33% of what Carolina has. He leads the league in pass deflections, and he's been a part of the reason why I feel like Carolina is still in the race to get a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Newton going down, I think that they were in danger. Allen's been playing good. McCaffrey, I feel like that whole team has just been playing good, and I think their defense star, if I was to pick one guy, is James Bradbury. So,
yeah, he's a great shadow defender. I mean, that guy could shut down anybody.
Yeah, he shut down Mike Evans in week 2.
Yeah, but more than that, I think he shut down somebody else pretty big.
Yeah.
I remember. I just can't remember who it was. Jamie Collins, the old guy, the veteran, he just came back to New England and just been reborn. He leads the team with 4.5 sacks. He's got 3 picks, a TD for 67 yards. The big fella's doing it, man. He's making that defense what it is. He's taking charge of that defense. He's the co-captain. I feel that obviously he's got a lot to do with how great this defense is. And Jamie Collins, being that he's a veteran, being that this is his second stint with New England, I feel like he knows how Belichick coaches and all these youngsters on the defensive side. I'm pretty sure he plays Papa to them because you got a lot of youngsters, you got a lot of young guys. Alan Jackson's coming up, and I feel that Jamie Collins, the way he talks to these guys, I've seen him on the sidelines before in games. He just takes over. He takes control of this defense, and that's my pick for defensive player of the year, and I hope he wins it, man. I really do. He's doing an outstanding job. This is his best start, actually, of his whole career.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Collins has been playing out of his mind. And what you said, he's been playing like Papa to all these youngsters. Yeah. At first, I thought you were actually going to pick McCourty. I meant to say McCourty earlier, but I thought he was going to pick him too. I thought you were going to pick McCourty.
Devin Singletary.
I thought you were going to pick McCourty. Yeah, I said the running back.
Close, but the 4.5 sacks.
Yeah, but I think picking Collins, being that how New England's been playing, I feel like he's been a big part of that defense. So, yeah, great pick. That was a great pick.
All right. This one is from this award nominations is the ones that we decided to do since I don't think they don't do it on the NFL honors, but I know they do it on the ESPYs. So the best team awards and the nominee that I chose was the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson has been amazing. They got the running game going. The defense has been really, really good. And just Russell Wilson, dude. Like, I mean, damn, all he does is just win. I mean, he won me this pizza. But yeah, Seattle is my best. And you know, records. You know, they're 5-1, second in their division, right behind Frisco. But I mean, Seattle has been very, very great. How they started off, despite how they started off like last season, I don't think they weren't 5-1 last season, right? And through 6 games. But yeah. All right. Go ahead, Vin.
My best team award is actually going to go to Frisco. From the coaching to the general managing and to the players, I feel like Frisco is probably the second best team other than the Patriots. I feel like everything that they've done has been great. Getting guys like Garoppolo, even though I think that contract's a little high. I mean, everyone's getting a big contract if you're a starting quarterback. So, of course, you're going to give, your starter a big contract, especially if you're investing in this guy. But getting guys like Coleman and Shepard and the way that they've been drafting, so smart and thinking about the future, this team, oh, my God, man. They play so amazing. They're actually the only team that I can remember who actually knows how to manage a 3-headed running back monster. You think of all the failed teams that have tried to do it. Bengals, New England did it, and they just didn't look comfortable. I mean, they still win, but Gillingsley, Burkhead, and Hill kind of looked like a mess. But
oh yeah, I remember that.
that was a mess. But this team, man, they surprise me just every single week. They wow me every time I watch them. They play so good. They're the funnest team to watch. I love watching Kyle Shanahan and his offense, the way they run. He's such a great coach, and he's such a great this team is so great. This team's great. This period.
Man, I love your guys' picks. I really do. But I got to stick with being biased, bro. I got to stick with my Patriots. They're outscoring their opponents 32-8, and I don't care what you guys say that they haven't played anybody. 32-8, when you outscore your team, your opposition 32-8 every single game on an average, and you're 6-0 this far into the season, you're the best. That's my opinion. You're the best. So that's who I got as my top team, of course, the best team in the NFL.
All right. This one is the worst team award, and I'm choosing the Tank for Tua team, the Dolphins. Who the hell decides to go on a 2-point conversion and ends up saying, "Hey, we're gonna let these Miami fans think that we're gonna win"? Psych.
How about we go
he
for
gives it the screen?
Have a screen pass on a 2-point
conversion. Purposely drop it.
Yeah,
I think it was purposely they dropped it.
It looked purposely dropped.
Yeah.
It did look purposely dropped.
Let the Skins won, the first win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Dolphins are the worst team in the NFL. So that's my nominee right here.
So my nominee is actually the Washington Redskins. They're a very interesting team to talk about because management, their owner, is terrible. Just awful the way they've been managing this team. This team had a winning record last season. They had a winning record to start the season.
They had a winning record when they started the season?
Yeah, they were 6-3. They were 6-3 last season. I heard I think it was Rich Eisen or Matthew Berry. I get confused between them both because they both look very similar.
Not even close.
I mean, I think they do. But I think one of them said that last season Gruden could have been up for Coach of the Year last season because he's 7-9.
Oh, it
was Berry, right?
No.
Oh no, it was
Eisen.
It was Eisen. Oh,
because he went through 3 quarterbacks, right? Four quarterbacks.
4 quarterbacks. It was Smith, McCoy,
the
Mark
dude,
Sanchez, and
the dude
Josh Johnson.
There you go.
From the Ultimate Alliance
yeah.
of American Football, or whatever the name of the league. You go through 4 quarterbacks and you have a chance to still make it in the playoffs. They lost because of a dumb pass interference call against the Titans, which was dumb. It was a terrible call, but this team had a legit shot to make it to the playoffs, and they're 3 losses away from getting the same losses they had last season, and we're barely like in week 7. So it just football is weird, and just this team's bad. Everything that they've done is just bad, except McLaurin.
Yeah, except for him.
Except for McLaurin. So,
Well, this team that I'm going to name has absolutely no, not even anybody to salvage this team, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they're so horrible. I can't even say, well, at least so and so is having a good season, or at least so and so is having a good year. They're all having a bad year. Offensive line, defensive line. They're allowing 30 points by their opposition every single game. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that in the NFL. Well, that's why they're 0-6. So, and it doesn't look any better. According to their schedule, it doesn't look any better for them. So, and we even said in the beginning of the year, Junior, they're going 0-16, my brother. Well, you had them 1-15. You had them 1-15. Yeah. And how can you say they're beating the Bills at this point of the season?
I know. No, I mean, like, no, like
Well, back then.
Back then, yeah. Back then, yeah, and when it was an early,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was early.
And then you guys, I was funny because when I told you guys, yeah, I have the Bengals only won. You're like, what? I was like, yeah, look at the schedule. Who'd you have? Seahawks or Bengals? Oh, Bengals.
Yeah,
all
everything we did,
yeah.
we did it all.
And I was like, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, they're going 0-16.
Okay. Head Coach of the Year award. I mean, year award, and the nominees that we chosen are not the ones that you guys are expecting. So there is no Bill Belichick. There is no Pete Carroll. Like none of these. You know.
Like a high-end coach.
Yeah, like a high-end coach. Now these guys that we've chosen should be.
They deserve it.
Yeah,
deserve it.
yes. So you want to start with one, Pop? You want to
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I went with the Buffalo Bills coach Sean McDermott. They're 4-1. They're in the AFC East. Their competition is the Patriots. Yes, that is their only loss, but they barely lost to them. And Josh Allen actually went out on that game. They're 4th best in defense in the NFL. I mean, that's not easy. Coming off of a season that was, they were right there. They were testing everybody. They were realizing who can do what and who can do this and who can do that. For Sean McDermott to put it all together in less than 2 seasons, I choose him for Coach of the Year. That's great. And actually, their offense is doing very well as well. Josh Allen being Josh Allen, legs, arm. They got Frank Gore in the backfield. He's having like he's been resurrected from the dead. I mean, the guy,
Yeah.
he's just unbelievably good. They got the youngster Singletary. I mean, they're just doing everything right. I would like to see this team in the playoffs. I hope to see them in the playoffs because I think they're a very exciting team. They're young, and my hat's off to McDermott for what he's done at this point of the season.
God, this pizza's delicious.
Go ahead.
For my Coach of the Year, it's Kyle Shanahan. I feel like for what he's been the coach for the Niners for the past 3 years. And I feel like the past 2 years, he was sputtering because of quarterback issues. He didn't have a quarterback to start. I think his quarterback was C.J. Beathard.
Mm-hmm.
And then he traded for a real quarterback in Garoppolo. And then week 3, tears his ACL. They go back to Beathard. And then they went to Nick Mullins because Beathard got hurt. I mean, a lot of things stopped this team from being great, especially from the past 2 seasons. But this season, I think we're seeing this team. I don't even think we're even seeing this team to the full potential because most of the guys that they have on this team, they're still young. Breda, who I think has been in the league, or I've seen his name forever. He's only been in the league for 3 years. Matt Breda, you know. Tevin Coleman, I think Tevin Coleman's their oldest running back, and he's probably one of their more productive pass-catching backs. Their receivers, I mean, they have Kittle. They have Goodwin, who could still develop. Debo Samuel, another developing star. Pettis, another developing star. I don't think we're seeing this team to their full potential in the way that they've been playing. They're 5-0. They're a good team, and I feel like Kyle Shanahan has a lot to do with it. Even going back to his offensive coaching days with the Falcons, what he did over there. That offense that they had when they went all the way to the Super Bowl. It was a great offense, and I feel like we're seeing it now in 49ers, but instead of being a passing game, it's a running game. Now he's adapted, and I feel like that's what makes the best coaches, to adapt, and I think Kyle Shanahan for that is my coach of the year because he knows how to adapt. So, yeah, it's Kyle Shanahan.
My nominee is Ron Rivera. Kyle Allen's 5-0 overall. And they're doing it without Cam Newton. Ron Rivera has revitalized the defense. They're 15th in points allowed, 11th in yards per game, 9th in passing yards, and then their rushing. Their run defense is in the 21st, but that's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But other than that, their corners have been playing great, as you mentioned. Vinny, for James, what was his name? Bradbury. A solid corner. And McCaffrey's just been doing it too. So Ron Rivera is my coach of the year. Coach of the year. Okay, so now it's time for the MVPs. And I think this one is the most too. Yeah. So for the MVP for my picks, there's actually two. So we each got two. My MVP is Christian McCaffrey and Russell Wilson. For McCaffrey, he's basically doing it all. He has 618 rushing yards with 7 rushing touchdowns. And that's not including the yardage that he's getting when he's receiving the ball. Like, this dude is on. Actually, let me get his rate is actually his stuff right now. Let's see. How come I can't?
Yeah, McCaffrey's just been unreal this season. I have to agree with you on that one. I feel like for the biggest part why the Panthers have been so successful is McCaffrey, and what he's done this season.
Yeah,
I got you, my boy. I got you.
Oh,
He's got over 300 yards receiving, 35 receptions for 305 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, and scrimmage he has over 905 yards, huh? Almost 1,000 rushing yard scrimmage, and he no one hasn't done that since what's his name? From the Titans. Johnson, what's his name? Chris Johnson hasn't done it since him. So I have him as my MVP, and then another one I have Russell Wilson. This dude is great with the ball. He's second in QBR, right behind Dak Prescott by point. Actually, by point maybe 8, 7, 6.6 around there.
Mm-hmm.
His QBR rating's at 79. Dak Prescott's QBR rating's 80, so he's second. And he just wins, like you said. He hasn't had a pick all season yet.
This is one of his best seasons that he's ever put together.
This is actually his best season he's put together.
This is
Yeah.
his best. This is his best season that he's put together, and it came when he had a big contract.
Dad was skeptical about it with his. It's usually right.
Yeah, it's usually right.
It's usually right with the stuff about his about the players get big contracts.
Look at another example. A guy who had a pretty successful year the season prior. His team made it to the playoffs. They had
Super Bowl.
a deep playoff run. Gets a huge contract, and it's Jared Goff, and he's playing terrible.
Yeah. So my nominees are McCaffrey and Russell Wilson.
You rolled the dice wrong, Dad. You rolled the dice wrong, and we're eating pizza.
Yeah, I said that before. again, my MVP and my MVP wasn't one of them. Was I already spoke of him, Dalvin Cook. The other one, I'm actually making a last minute change. It was gonna be Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Just to give you a little bit of a heads up with him, he's got over 1,500 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's got 460 yards at this point in the season. He's gonna go over 1,000
For rushing, right?
For rushing.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm making a last minute change. I gotta go with the old timer, man. I gotta go with Tom Brady. I mean, I didn't know. Quietly, he's been having a great season. 6 games, completing over 65% of his passes. He's got over 1,750 yards in the air. His quarterback rating, 97.5. It's in the top 5. And he's got 10 TDs and 3 picks. I mean, the guy just does not know how to lose, and he will not. I don't think he wants to admit how old he is. This guy is just too good, man. He is good. And he's leading his team to a 6-0 record. So my hat's off. I gotta change it. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. Lamar Jackson is at least mentionable. That's why I didn't hesitate to mention him. But I gotta go with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is doing it.
Okay. What about you, Vin?
Well, now that you changed it to Lamar Jackson, I'm not gonna change my picks.
Okay.
But it's just like, wow, you brought up that stat. Lamar Jackson, he's gonna go for 1,000 yards rushing, which I don't think that hasn't been done since Randall Cunningham. I don't think that's been done since Randall Cunningham. And the way that he's flinging the ball, it won't surprise me if someday he
At 4,000 yards?
he would actually lead the league in passing, and another year lead the league in rushing yards.
Okay, so flip-flopping.
Flip-flop it.
Okay.
And later in this year, which is something that Cunningham eventually did, and he's the only quarterback to do it. So, but my MVPs, Patrick Mahomes as one, if we're doing mid-season MVP,
Yeah.
because, he went down, he's going to miss a few weeks, but, I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's been near perfect every single game. Even the 2 games where he lost, the 2 games that he lost, he was still perfect. I mean, he didn't throw a pick until week 6 against Houston off a play that he thought was pass interference. It looked like pass interference if I was Mahomes, but they didn't get the call. Very unlucky. Turnover happened. La-da-da-da-da-da. But he still looks phenomenal, and the way that he played, particularly against Oakland, what are you going to do for dinner? And we're like halfway into the second quarter, and he's put up like 30 points in the second quarter. Hey, Sammy, what are we going to do for dinner?
Yeah, he was actually talking about where he's going.
How you doing for dinner? I'm going to have some popcorn and ketchup. That's one of his weird things, but
Yeah, Vinny, good pick. 2,100 yards already in the air. I mean, this guy, 2,200, I should say. 2,180 yards, 15 TDs. The guy's
And 1 pick, right?
I don't. It doesn't have his picks here, but I
Okay.
think it is 1 pick. Yeah, I mean, good pick, Vinny. He's.
I know.
he's great. The second player that I'm going with, and actually my front runner in front of Patrick Mahomes, I've actually put this guy in front of Mahomes. Everything that you said about McCaffrey rushing is basically what Chris Godwin is doing receiving. He leads every single category in receiving. Receptions, reception yards, touchdowns. He leads the whole league.
Yeah.
He could have possibly been my breakthrough player, but I mean, who I had, I think, was a better pick in my opinion. But Godwin has just been phenomenal. I mean, I don't think there's any receiver that's gonna compare to Chris Godwin.
I know.
And you guys always jump on me because I had drafted Chris Godwin 1 year, and you guys were like, "Who?"
1 year.
Or 2?
You keep drafting.
I didn't draft him this year, but
That's why we gave you so much crap, because you always end up with him.
yeah, it's just
Yeah, he's been phenomenal
he's
too.
been phenomenal. The 1 year that I don't have him, he's
Exploding.
MVP year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're welcome, Jenny. So I think he's my front runner for MVP. Chris
Okay.
Godwin.
All right. So since we're already getting close to the point of ending the show, Dad, would you want to do the last thing here for the pick'ems?
Yes, I did.
Well, just do the pick'ems instead of going through every single
Right, that's
game.
what I was. That's what I was hoping that you would do. I just wanted to bring up last week. Of course, the old man. Nobody touched me. I was 4-1. I led. Vinny was 3-1. Now, keep in mind he missed a game because he had gotten home from work that day late.
Mm-hmm.
So he had actually missed the pick between Tampa Bay and Carolina. So me and Junior are gonna give Vinny one game that we think that is gonna maybe cause a little bit of a brainstorm, so we could get him out of this streak because he's so far has a winning record every week. Junior got a winning record this week. He was 1-4 last week. Good comeback, Junior. 3-2 this week.
Thanks.
So what are we doing as far as pick'ems? Junior, pick your game, and I'll make sure I get it.
All right. First one, Eagles and Cowboys for Sunday night. For this one, I'm gonna go with. It's a hard one. No Amari Cooper. But again, Philly's the corners are terrible, and they're at Dallas. I'm gonna get. Let me go with the Cowboys. Screw it.
I'm actually going to go Cowboys as well. They got to come back in this game, no doubt. It's a divisional rival. It's your biggest rival, actually, I should say. And you're at home. I mean, you got no Amari, but Gallup, he's been solid.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Jason Wynn's gonna be.
Jason Wynn is still a pretty decent
Security
tight
blanket,
end.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, security blanket. Cobb, who's been pretty okay. You know, you still have Ezekiel. You have one of the worst secondaries in the league. This has to be a win for the Cowboys. It has to be a win. There's no other way. So, yeah, I'm taking Cowboys.
According to Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, all injured Cowboys, with the exception of Anthony Brown, the cornerback, are expected to play in Sunday's game, which makes Randall Cobb, Amari Cooper
Amari Cooper's playing.
available. So
Okay,
I
never
am
mind.
definitely taking the Cowboys.
All right. Okay, the next. Go ahead, Vinny. You could pick one.
I'm actually going to pick it's actually a morning game for us because we live in California. Texans and Colts.
I was eyeing that game too.
Texans and Colts. We actually have a lot of good games this week, so I'm going with this one. And you know what? I think I'm going to have to go with the Texans in this game. I feel like they played really well against KC, like you guys have said. You look shocked right now because I'm picking Houston over the Colts. I think you thought that I was going to pick the Colts.
I was
For a
because
sec.
I am going to pick the Colts in this one.
Oh,
'cause
wow.
T.Y. Hilton's coming back. He's ready to play, and he pretty much owns Houston.
Yeah.
He pretty much owns Houston, whether it's at Indianapolis or over there at Houston. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Colts in this one. They won a great game on Sunday night against the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
even though they did get a bye week. But I think
They're
they'll
gonna
win
come back
another.
well rested.
Yeah, well rested and they're prepared, and then they're at home. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the Colts on this one.
Who was that? That big, the defensive lineman for
Justin
Indianapolis.
Justin Houston,
No, the other one. He was.
Darius Leonard.
He is coming back this week, and I'm going with the Colts. Darius, what's his name? Leonard. He's coming back this week from injury. Sorry, Vin. I think you're gonna lose that one. I'm going with the Colts.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead, Bob,
Yeah.
your turn.
Mine. I'm sorry, Mijo. Yeah, I know you. You probably did. Yes. Vinny's right. There are a lot of good games.
Especially that Monday night one. That Monday night one's looking great. You scroll down.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Ravens Seahawks. I like that game. I think it's gonna be closer than everybody thinks, but damn, I don't want to make it. I don't think I don't think Seattle's gonna be able to stop the run. I gotta go with Baltimore in this one.
All right, give me Seattle on this one.
Of course. Vincent.
This is actually a tough one. You know what? I think I'm gonna take Seattle. I'm gonna take Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's just good. They're really good. So time for you guys to actually
Pop,
pick
now
a
we
game
got-
for me.
Now we got.
No, we have two.
Oh, we have
Two more.
games? Okay, 2 more.
And
Oh, then you get the one extra one,
then he
right,
gets
for
the
him.
One extra.
All right.
I think
Don't
we
make
should
it easy on
I
me.
think we should do this one as the one extra.
Yep.
Okay,
I
sounds
think you
good
guys
for
are
you.
making it.
That
I think
one.
I know which one you guys picked.
So-
I think I know which
So
ones you guys
let's
picked.
go.
These are the random ones now.
These are the random ones. I would say Saints Bears.
Okay.
You're talking about a defense. I mean, I know the Bears' offense isn't that great, but their
Mhm.
defense is, hoping that they can stop the Saints. Which I do not see that happening. It's in Chicago, Windy City.
No Camara.
No Camara. Whoa, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah. No Camara.
Well, no Camara. It doesn't matter because he hasn't made a difference since Breeze was actually in the game. So I'm
Yes,
going with
he
the Saints.
has.
I'm
Yes,
going with
he
the Saints.
has.
I'm going with the Saints.
I've
Murray,
seen the numbers,
Latavius Murray is a capable back as a backup. He put up solid numbers when Cook went down. He was a very solid back. I think he's going to do the same thing. He's playing with his former teammate. Keep that in mind. In Teddy Bridgewater, there's a little bit of chemistry right there. So yeah, I think I'm going to go to the Saints with this one. They have one of the best offenses. Bridgewater, great quarterback. The way he's been playing, Saints are going to take this one. So I'm going to go with Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Bears. I'm going with the Bears on this one.
Thank you, Junior. All right,
But
Junior.
keep that in mind, Marshawn Lattimore. Oh fuck! I should have put him as a fucking defensive player of the year. That dude.
He is also lights out.
Yeah,
He's lights
that
out.
dude shuts down. He shut down Amari Cooper. He shut down Mike Evans. He shut down. What was another one? There was another wide receiver that he shut down.
Was it
What's-
DeAndre Hopkins?
Or Hopkins. Was it Hopkins?
No, Hopkins
No,
had like
Hopkins.
over 100 yards in that game.
Yeah.
There was another third wide receiver that, ever since that Texas game, he has, going up against Marshawn Lattimore, in total he has 17 points allowed.
Okay.
So basically 5 point something points for the
Okay,
wide
now
receivers
you
in
know
fantasy.
Lattimore's going to be on Robinson.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Something that you don't know, that you may not know about Robinson, that I just found out literally yesterday. I just found out. Robinson is the most successful wide receiver in NFL history to catch when shadowed. Believe it or not, when shadowed by a cornerback.
He has the highest catching percentage.
Yeah, the highest catching percentage. He does miraculous circus catches over these guys. And I didn't know that about Marcus Robinson because I heard a couple of guys,
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, I'm sorry. I heard a couple of guys talking about this game,
Mhm.
and they were actually siding with the Saints because Lattimore is going to be on Robinson, and that's right now the Bears' only weapon. That's their only positive right now is Allen Robinson.
Mhm.
But one guy brought out that stat about Allen Robinson. I did not know that. So it was like 8 fantasy pros. They were like fantasy pros.
Mhm.
And they all went with the Saints in that game, and just one guy went with the Bears because he thinks that Allen Robinson is, and they're getting Trubisky back.
Right.
So he thinks that he's good enough to beat Lattimore.
Well, I don't know. He's been playing. He's actually on fantasy. He's actually been playing without Trubisky better. But yeah. Again, expect a big game from Robinson, hopefully. And I have him starting on my fantasy.
I hope he
Do
loses.
I? No, I don't. And I'm playing you, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, I'm playing you. So
know.
yeah, I'm picking the Saints. You guys are picking the Bears. So
Okay,
is there
one more.
game.
There's-
One more game.
There's
Okay.
one more,
game.
and then plus your
plus your bonus game.
Yep.
Let's do.
'Cause I'm
what
that
about,
special.
What about the Cardinals Giants?
rookies. Yeah, rookies playing.
Rookies playing together, and they're
Saquon.
both defenses stink.
They do.
So we can act. This is gonna be I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
Okay, let me get Daniel Dimes.
Daniel Dimes.
I think this dude is going to show that he could beat a number 1 overall pick.
Okay.
Evan Ingram and Saquon are back.
Yep.
So I feel confident that the Giants could take this one.
I mean, did you not see the Atlanta or the Cincinnati game? I mean, I know Dad watched the Cincinnati game because he had Johnson and Mixon playing on his fantasy. He kept going back to the game. I was always asking him why are you going back?
He was.
I was asking him, but you know what? You used to call him Daniel Dimes. Well, I'm gonna call him Kyler Dimes because I'm going with the Cardinals on this one. I'm going with the Cardinals. The way they played, and they played amazing. The way the Giants played last 2 games, not so great. Not so great. Only 24 points combined. Arizona did that, only needed to get past that in 1 game. That was the Cincy game.
Yeah, but that was without his weapons. That was without Evan Ingram and Saquon.
I know.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, Arizona has been ranked the worst, one of the worst defensive backfields in the NFL, along with the Philadelphia Eagles. But they get Peterson back this week. I got to take Arizona.
Okay. All right, Vinny. So we decided that the game that you are have to go in to pick.
Lions and Vikings.
Yeah.
Yep. Knew it.
So which one are you taking?
This is a tough one. But you know what?
Do it,
You ready,
Vinny.
guys?
Do it.
Yeah.
They've been robbed. 3rd time's the charm.
Damn, this team might lose 3 in a row.
That's right, sir.
I'm just putting it out there.
And I believe it's in Detroit.
It is
Yeah,
in Detroit.
It is in Detroit.
Yep, at the Silverdome.
Ford Field, actually. It's called Ford Field.
Oh my
Ford
God.
Field.
Thought it was a
Field.
Silverdome
No,
still.
it's not
Sorry,
the
I'm back in the
Silverdome.
80s. Sorry about that. I'm still
All right,
Barry
well,
Sanders days.
the last two games that I've actually picked, well, the Lions have played where we had our picks. I've actually picked the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they lose though?
I'm actually.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Def, for pointing that out.
I'm 0-2. Wait, no, I'm actually
1-1 with the Lions.
1-1 with the
So
Lions.
you're 50% when it comes
I'm
to picking the
50% with
Lions.
the
So this will
Lions.
break your 50%.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna break my 50% if I go
Are
with
you
the
picking 'em?
Lions. Am I picking them though? I mean, man, we were talking about Minnesota, how balanced they are. But then again, the Lions did get robbed of a loss, so I'm going with the Lions,
Oh my
baby.
God.
I'm going with the Lions again, baby.
Darius Slade coming back.
Yep.
All right.
Darius Slade coming back. I mean, they have a lot to prove. I mean, they're not going to lose 3 straight, especially in a division that competitive. They can't lose 3 straight,
That's true.
especially to a divisional rival. So for that, I got to pick the Lions. Hopefully, they actually finish a game, and I got to go with the Lions. Andrew, this is for you.
And he's not gonna watch this game.
He's not going to watch the game.
He's not gonna watch the game.
Doesn't matter. It's still for Andy.
Still for Andy
Let's
because
go
that's his team.
Lions.
Because he
Oh,
likes
okay.
Matthew Stafford.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. Time's up. If you guys hear some baby noises in the background, that's my daughter waking up my girlfriend from her nap. Yeah, so that'll be it. So we'll see you guys next week. Dad, Vinny, and myself will do a playoff prediction since it's week 8. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah,
I already got my squads already 1 through 6. I'm not even gonna tell you guys till next week.
Let's go Bengals, baby. Bengals, Miami, Washington, best 3 teams in the NFL in 10 years.